Let's go Dolphins! The Miami Dolphins are very close to finalizing a move that could reshape the entire future of their defense, but hardly anyone talks about it. I'm serious. There's a potential trade brewing behind the scenes, one that could bring a former Pro Bowl cornerback with exceptional athleticism to South Florida. A 6 feet 4 inches defensive back with 4.26-inch speed could be on the team very soon. But here's the thing. It all depends on whether the Dolphins front office wakes up in time to make it happen. We're not talking about a blockbuster like Jalen Ramsey or a flashy free agent signing. We're talking about a low-key opportunity that could solve one of Miami's biggest problems right now. And no, it's not the offensive line. It's the cornerback room. It's a position group with no future, no stability, and no young stars to build around. That's where this story begins. And believe me, by the end of this video, you'll be wondering why Chris Grier hasn't been fired yet for letting the secondary get to this point. But before we delve into this explosive situation, I have one thing to ask. If you're a true Dolphins fan, hit that like button right now. And if you've supported this team through thick and thin for the past 20 years or so, leave a comment below saying, "Go, Dolphins." My heart is all yours. Okay, let's go. So here's the deal. The Dolphins are reportedly eyeing a potential trade before the November 4th NFL deadline, and the name that's generating real buzz is none other than Seattle Seahawks cornerback Riq Woolen. Now, before you roll your eyes or laugh this off, let me break down why this might actually be the smartest move this franchise could make all season. Riq Woolen, a former 5th-round pick in 2022 out of UTSA, burst onto the scene like a rocket. We're talking co-leader in interceptions as a rookie, Pro Bowl selection, and one of the most physically gifted corners to enter the league in recent years. At 6 feet 4 inches, 210 pounds, and with an insane 4.26 40-yard dash, Woolen is a rare breed, massive size combined with elite speed. That's not hype, that's real. But here's the kicker, his stock is dropping, and it's not even because of a decline in talent. It's all about fit. Since the Seahawks brought in head coach Mike Macdonald, who brought a new defensive scheme from Baltimore, Woolen has slowly been phased out. His playing time has dipped, and it's clear he's not meshing with the new system. He's in a contract year and suddenly looking very available. NFL insiders are watching closely, and the Dolphins are among the few teams that could pounce. Why does this matter for Miami? Because this secondary is barely hanging on. Sure, there's been marginal improvement, but there is no long-term answer at corner. Zero. Nada. Rezad Jones is long gone. Byron Jones? History. Xavier Howard? Gone. Now we're relying on patchwork options like Rasul Douglas and Jack Jones, both on one-year deals and both on the wrong side of 30 or borderline depth players. Jason Marshall Jr.? He hasn't shown anything before getting hurt and landing on IR. Ethan Bonner, Cornell Armstrong, Cam Smith, none of these guys are penciled in as the future. And you can't build a playoff-caliber defense on shaky ground. This is where Riq Woolen comes in. Despite a down season so far, he's allowed 10 receptions on 15 targets for 145 yards and a QB rating of 120.1. The upside is undeniable. Just last year, he was shutting down top receivers and making quarterbacks pay. His career numbers still speak for themselves. 11 interceptions, 28 pass breakups, and a 57% completion percentage allowed over his first 3 years. He's still just 26 years old. He's not washed. He's misused. Now, let's talk trade. The value is surprisingly fair, reportedly a conditional 4th-round pick in 2026. That's it. A day 3 pick for a potential starting caliber CB for the future? That's a no-brainer. And the Dolphins are in a perfect position to pull the trigger. They've got 9 projected picks in 2026, including 2 third-rounders and at least 1 compensatory 4th from the Javon Holland departure to New York. The ammo is there. No excuses. And if Miami doesn't strike while the iron's hot, well, get ready to see Woolen ball out elsewhere while we're still trying to figure out if Tuju Pratt is a real person or a Madden creator player. This is the kind of low-risk, high-upside move smart teams make before a deadline, especially when the free agent class for 2026 corners isn't looking elite. At best, we're talking about guys like Greg Newsome, Marcus Jones, Cam Taylor-Britt, solid players, but not needle movers. Riq Woolen is the top name, and you could have him now instead of fighting in the off-season market. And yes, Greg Newsome is another interesting name. Former 1st-round pick, young, solid production, and potentially available from Cleveland. If Miami really wanted to get aggressive, they could target either Woolen or Newsome and secure a true starting cornerback for the future. But Woolen? That's the move. He's got the tools, the age, the ceiling, and he's already been a Pro Bowler. The Bears did it with Montez Sweat. They were out of contention but made a smart move to secure a young talent early, then extended him. The Dolphins could and should do the same. Trade that 4th-round pick, lock down a cornerstone in your secondary, and give yourself roster flexibility going into the next draft and free agency. That's what winning organizations do. Is Chris Greer that kind of GM? Probably not. But even a broken clock is right twice a day. Maybe this could be the one time he gets it right. Because here's the reality, Dolphins fans, if Miami doesn't act now, it's not just a missed opportunity, it's another chapter in a long, frustrating story of front office hesitation and short-sightedness. We've seen this before. A chance to secure young talent slips through our fingers because the leadership up top can't recognize value when it's staring them in the face. And let's be honest, with Greer still inexplicably employed, we've grown accustomed to watching this team fall just short of making bold, calculated moves that build for the future. Rick Woolen is the kind of player you build with. He's not just a band-aid like some of the guys we've signed or traded for in recent years. He's a long-term asset if used correctly. Imagine pairing him with a veteran presence like Rasul Douglas for the rest of the season, then locking him down and watching him grow into a top 25 corner by next year. It's not just possible, it's logical. His struggles this year aren't because he lost his touch. They're the result of a defensive scheme that doesn't cater to his strengths. Let's not forget, this is a guy who made the Pro Bowl as a rookie. You don't lose that kind of talent overnight. You just need to put it in the right system. And Vic Fangio? He knows how to get the most out of defensive backs with length, speed, and athleticism. It's a match waiting to happen. The idea that Miami isn't contending and therefore shouldn't make a trade like this is flawed. Great franchises don't wait until they're perfect to make strategic upgrades. They identify opportunities early and act before the rest of the league catches on. This is the kind of move that sends a message. The Dolphins aren't just thinking about this season, they're building something sustainable. And what better way to support that effort than by securing a 26-year-old corner with Pro Bowl upside? Even looking beyond Woolen, the list of free agent corners in 2026 doesn't offer much to get excited about. Marcus Jones? Solid, but a slot guy. Cam Taylor-Britt? Flashes here and there, but inconsistent. Jalen Watson? Serviceable, but not someone you build your CB room around. And even if you like Greg Newsome, and I do, it's not guaranteed he'll be available, and he might cost more in a trade. Woolen is the best combination of age, upside, and affordability on the market. And what's the worst case scenario? You give up a 4th-round pick for a guy who doesn't pan out? That's a price you're willing to pay for potential greatness. The NFL draft is a gamble anyway. Look at our own recent 4th-rounders. How many of them are still with the team or making an impact? Exactly. This isn't just smart, it's calculated risk with high reward. If he works out, you extend him. If not, you move on. No franchise-altering consequences. Meanwhile, the current CB situation in Miami is a ticking time bomb. Even if the defense holds up for a few more weeks, injuries happen. Depth matters, and you need guys who can win matchups when it counts. Rasul Douglas has been steady, but he's not a long-term answer. Jack Jones might re-sign, but he's more of a complementary piece. And the rest of the group? Unproven or injury-prone. Rick Woolen gives you a chance to reshape that entire dynamic heading into next year. And here's one more angle to consider. Even if Miami does make the playoffs this year, who are you facing in January? Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, Joe Burrow. You're going to need corners who can run with elite receivers. Guys who can make plays when it matters. Rick Woolen has done that before, and if put in the right environment, he can do it again. This is where real Dolphins fans draw the line. Do we keep letting this front office settle for mediocrity? Or do we demand that they finally step up and make a proactive move to stabilize one of the weakest units on the roster? It's time for this team to show some backbone.